Head over to thebestsongever.com and purchase our new hit, Together Again. It is a cover of Smokey Mike and the God King. That's Jeremy Boring and Michael Knowles. And with your help, we will smash our way onto the Billboard charts. From the New York Post. 12,000 migrants cross southern border in a single day, Tuesday. Highest total ever. Dude, these videos are insane. I don't know if you guys have seen them.
Yeah.
And the federal government is doing it intentionally.
100%.
Yup.
Yeah.
So why would there be a Florida alliance in this film? Because the southern states say you have inflicted this upon us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny when they call it like the border crisis, like a hurricane's a crisis. Like you didn't see that coming, but this is 100% the plan of the Democrats. And every single Democrat, this isn't just Biden. At the federal level, every single Democrat in the House and the Senate, they are part and parcel of this. They have voted for it. They've voted against border security. Right now, they're going to the mat and they're fighting against the Republican plan to actually secure our border. And we think right now there's 10 million illegals that have come into the country, 118.
15 to 16 maybe.
Yeah.
And you know what Chicago's mayor is saying?
No, we can't
It's
take
the
it anymore.
Republicans that are doing it. He said it's this governor of Texas sending them all here. It's his fault. Meanwhile, Texas is trying to stop them with everything it has.
Yeah.
Texas just passed a law saying that it's illegal to enter the state of Texas.
Illegally.
Yeah, illegally. So,
Well, because typically border crossings are a federal issue.
thing, yeah.
And the argument is Texas has no right to deport. Only the federal government can deport to other countries. Texas is basically asserting the right to arrest and detain anyone. And I think what's going to end up happening is these people who are coming in en masse in an invasion, and it is an invasion, they're going to be placed in very serious squalor and horrifying conditions. The Democrats will weaponize that
100%.
and say Trump is Hitler.
Yep.
So this is what they're building up to. When Trump gets elected, I would not be surprised if Trump says it's time to deport these people, and you end up with camps full of migrants.
Right.
The Democrats then say, oh no, we warned you, he's Hitler.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, and the Democrats, I mean, their plan's very diabolical. They want a mass wave of illegal immigrants they can pump into all these different urban centers. So the next time there's a census, they can count heads, and from that they can make new legislative seats. I mean, it's a pure power play, and then ballot harvest their way there. They're eroding any kind of verification for citizenship to be able to vote in elections, like in my state in Washington, and they don't care about any of the carnage that comes along with that. I mean, 118,000 Americans have been killed by fentanyl in the last couple of years. That's come across the southern border, and like the Democrats don't even talk about that. I mean, that's the number one killer in our district right now. It's just absolute insane.
I truly believe that the fact that the media is so lockstep with the the DNC message, that I don't know that the American people can beat that kind of propagandization.
Oh yeah, you know how hard it is to get answers down at the border wall, like from the Border Patrol or anybody. Like the sheriff's the only one who can talk about it publicly.
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't think your average person believes it.
Oh yeah, they can't because the media doesn't report on it like the way they should. Because it's like watching actual like the skin of a human erode, right? And you're watching like the skeleton start to show itself. I mean, it's a total mess with all the fentanyl coming through, like millions of pounds down there, and it's just nonsense. And then no one's allowed to talk about it. I went to the police station in Yuma because I was getting the runaround from the Border Patrol because they're not allowed to talk to you. They pulled me over a bunch for just being there.
Really?
Yeah. And then the police, I'm wondering what they think about this, and they're not allowed to talk to you. They were going to make me sign a form to at least do a ride-along to see the town with them. My wife had to sign that form, but she had to be there. I was in Yuma. My wife is in West Virginia. Like, they make it impossible for journalists to do it right. The Border Patrol will give you a press tour of all this stuff, but that's like, what to expect from a press tour.
Yeah.
That's what AOC got when she cried.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have videos of actual federal agents removing border barriers and allowing migrants to illegally enter the country.
It's absolutely insane.
It's depraved.
And when you look at who's coming into the country, I went down to Yuma in 2021 too, and I was down there in the summertime, pretty hot, pretty treacherous journey.
116 degrees in July. Yeah.
Treacherous journey if you were a refugee seeking refuge. Right. But I didn't see any of those people. I saw guys that were my age and younger that did not look like they had just trekked across the desert. They were getting bussed up there. The whole thing. I mean, you think like chaotic border scene. There's people like jumping across the border. I saw a little bit of that, but by and large, it was a very controlled flow of people coming into the country.
And people don't think about, like, so Yuma is a good example of how weird it is, because it's not like that giant trek I think a lot of people imagine going through the desert. There's a highway you can see through the wall that you're getting dropped off at. Yeah. A lot of people spend a lot of money to get flown into the Mexicali airport.
Exactly.
Then they get driven to that highway. Yep. There's people set up in tents along the highway, send you camouflage gear, water, cigarettes. Yeah. You walk like 30 minutes to the wall, and then Border Patrol is there like TSA. It's like soft TSA. They got water for you. They got a tent. Yeah. They tag your bags, literally. They had an easier time talking to Border Patrol than I did.
Yeah, when I was down there, we couldn't get hotel. I actually went down there with Representative Paul Gosar and his team, and we couldn't get hotels in Yuma because the federal government had booked the vast majority of them for illegal immigrants.
Yeah, it seemed like such a controlled portal. Yeah, because the immigrants don't stay there either. They they're there. They get
plane tickets, bus tickets.
And sent right out.
Yeah, you go. I mean, there was people tweeting coming home from the TPUSA event. That you guys
that was actually St. Clair.
Yeah, she was putting that stuff up. But every time I've flown into Arizona in the last couple of years, it's only been once or twice, but I've seen that exact same thing. Yeah. It's right up in your face. They're not hiding it.
She was going hard after Delta, and I'm like, oh, good for her. Sucks because I really like Delta.
No, I predict that Ashley St. Clair is bringing down Delta, and I meant that as a double entendre. I'm sorry for people who got mad at that, but I was like, is Delta trending because of her? But the videos were going around, and it's good. People should know about it. I mean, when I was a teacher in Westchester, New York, and they were flying illegal immigrants into that airport. Yeah, and that's a small little area, like outside of the city.
Do you guys remember when the Biden admin was caught trafficking children?
Yeah,
this is not even in dispute. This is a fact. Joe Biden was engaged in human trafficking.
I think that was actually the airport I'm talking about, the Westchester airport.
Right, that's right.
Yep, it's insane.
And I think, was it James O'Keefe who had the story? Someone had a story where maybe it wasn't James O'Keefe, where they had undercover video of one of the, I think it was a Border Patrol guy being like, if the American people knew what we were doing, they would revolt.
Yeah, Carrie Lake shared a letter that she got with me from a guy from Border Patrol, and it was like, they've given up on the border here. The post he was at, he's like, there's hours a day where it's not even patrolled.
I don't think they've given up. That's their plan.
Well, yeah. He thinks they've given up, right? But this is a controlled collapse, is what it seems like.
Yeah, maybe because they fully expect this country to be in full scale conflict, and who do you think is going to fight against the American people? The people who want to be receiving the benefits and privileges of a country for which they are not citizens.
I mean, we got senators that are saying that we should put illegal immigrants into the United States military. Yeah. I think Los Angeles is trying to make them police officers right now, illegal immigrants. I mean, just absolute insanity.
Yeah. It's depraved. It doesn't make any sense. But it does for them. This is like their logic. It's logical for what they do.
For them, all they care about is power. That's it. Like they mean what they're doing in Colorado, what they're doing at the border with the fentanyl. The only thing they care about is raw political power.
Yes.
If you operate under the assumption that they actually have a plan to help America, none of this makes sense.
Right.
If you understand that their plan is to destroy this country, it all makes sense.
100%. And then you just roll out Biden, and you can write off everything to him just being old and incompetent. It's like, oh yeah, it's just Biden. He just kind of stumbles around. Like they just must be kind of messed up. Like, no, this is a very well-oiled machine. It's a delivered plan.
The argument that they make is that it's replacement population because Americans aren't having enough kids, and it's because we need the people working to be able to keep the Ponzi scheme of Social Security going. That's the argument they make, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but
the Civil War is trending.
Well, I mean, realistically, this is legitimately, whatever people think about how often we talk about, Civil War here, this is, it's history making. It's unprecedented. And they're, what's his name?
They're locking up journalists. We had Owen just got out.
Yeah.
The guy from the Blaze is about to go in.
Well, that was today, actually.
Today?
Yeah, let me take a look at his...
Down at the America Fest, I'm looking for his name, so I forgot his name, but that actor who was arrested at the airport after the Lady Ballers premiere. Like, the feds, he was, I guess, at Jan 6, and the feds had already dealt with him 3 years ago. And they went and they arrested him at the airport after going to the Daily Wire premiere.
I mean, all of this gives the regime a great excuse to have another Biden-read sermon where he's like, "Look, these guys, we can't trust them. You know what they did on January 6th? Exactly. Like they're already moving that direction. But don't worry, my administration has it under control."
It's insane because when he was running for president, I use running loosely, like Kamala's staff was donating money to get arsonists
Yeah.
bail
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they were severely encouraging violence. There was that
Absolutely.
mayor out in maybe Portland who went to the Capitol or the courthouse burning. I forget his name. I always forget his name.
Ted
But there's
Wheeler.
that crazy, that
Ted
crazy
Wheeler.
video of him like bathing in the smoke, like he was getting baptized.
He was
into
trying to
Antifa.
pretend like he was going down there, and like
Yeah.
he attempted to be cool with Antifa,
then
and
they
they
went after
attacked
him.
him.
Yeah.
Then they tried to burn his condo
That's
down.
right.
It's like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not going to be your friends, Ted. You're not cool.
That's
You might as well
right.
just crack down on him. But he's still, to this day, he's attempting to appease those people,
didn't
mostly
learn
because
anything.
he's a coward.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did like a lock-in in his or in his like lobby or something.
Yeah, he lived in one of those high rises downtown, and they basically like tried to light the whole thing on fire.
So Steve Baker does not have to surrender. Apparently, it's being reported that he won't have to surrender until after Christmas.
Okay, but still surrendering.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
His self-surrender would be postponed until after Christmas, and the Justice Department has assigned a new AUSA to his case. You know, Tucker made a really great point the other night when he said, "What someone's going to say no," and that's another component of civil war.
Yeah.
At
So
what point does someone just say no? Yeah.
How long? It was like 10. No. How was it? 10 years ago or longer? Remember that family in New Hampshire didn't want to pay taxes, and so they just like locked their doors, and then the feds showed up and surrounded the building, and it was like this really crazy thing. I don't know. So it was a wild story that happened, I think, at the end of the 2000s or something like that. Well, nobody really cares. It's one family refusing to pay taxes, but this stuff is every day. What happens when you get one by one people just saying no?
Yeah.
I mean, there was that one guy. Remember that one guy who they shot and killed? He was the morbidly obese elderly man.
Yeah.
Who was posting stupid crap on the internet.
75 years old or whatever. Guy could be.
And so they did a pre-dawn raid and kicked in his door.
Like you need to send the entry team to the 75.
They had already talked to the guy too. Like they knocked on his door and talked to him.
Give me a break. So Frank Luntz posted this recently. Colorado has proven Trump's theory true that he is the victim of political persecution. His poll numbers won't drop. On the contrary, they will rise. That kind of is worth noting. Frank Luntz is not a pro-Trump kind of dude at all. And if he can even see that this is proving Trump right, like so there was an argument to be made that, you know, obviously I was convinced that they were after Trump, you know, after January 6th, as soon as the impeachment stuff was going on, I was convinced they were after Trump. But that being said, like someone like Frank Luntz to openly acknowledge it, I mean, that says something about, you know, what people are going to see when they look at the situation. You hear the Democrats talk about democracy constantly, and it is clear that they are not interested in democracy. And this really, I don't see how you can make the argument that they are, and with a straight face. You know,
They're tyrants.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.